What's up, everybody? It's your boy Skinny Moose, and today I brought on Nathan Mowery, the killbilly
Yo,
from
what's
Coven of the Goat.
that's right. What's going on?
So, what made you become a wrestler?
Man, I've loved wrestling my whole life. I loved it. Like I started watching it like when I was a kid. And then when I was 19, I moved to Atlanta to pursue filmmaking, and I ended up getting a job with Diamond Dallas Page and doing his videos. So I've been working with Dallas for the past 11 years, and through that, I've met a lot of wrestlers and people, and then got involved in the independent Georgia scene. And then one day, through Dallas, I ended up working at AEW doing production and stuff. And then through that, I met QT Marshall, who invited me to come by his school, the Nightmare Factory in Georgia. And then Luther, who was a good buddy of mine at AEW, moved to Atlanta and started training there. So I ended up just training with Luther, and it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, like I'm only getting older. Like I'm 32 now, so I was like, man, I might as well just give it a shot and try to get into wrestling now. I know all these people, and I've always loved doing crazy shit. I love deathmatch wrestling, and but I think like what got what really sold me on it, like always a huge fan of deathmatch wrestling and wrestling in general, but when I was working like at AEW, I ended up going to a random like GCW show, and it was like Nick Gage versus Effie. And like that match was so fucking sick, and I was just like, that match like inspired me, and I was like, wow, the energy here is just so different. Like it feels more like the punk rocker, the hardcore of top 40 music almost. So I just fell in love with the performance aspect of it, and then after seeing them, I was like, all right, I gotta just dive on in and give this a shot.
I really thought you was going to say Tank inspired you since you're, in with Tank, and you really go with Tank and the Rev and
Oh,
stuff.
dude, yeah, Tank definitely inspires me. I think that's like one thing. Like, there's just so many different little side avenues, but Tank is somebody that really inspired me because he was like the first person I ever really interacted with inside of a ring. Like when I debuted, I was debuted in this Rumble, and basically I did this spot with Tank where he skewered me and he threw me over the top rope onto a bunch of mouse traps. And that was like my debut was like with Tank.
Shit.
And Tank is like a legit badass. And I'm like,
Yes.
because like growing up as a Southern man who loves deathmatch wrestling, like Tank's always been like the guy, like in the South since like, NWA Wildside back in the day, which
Yes.
if anybody has never watched NWA Wildside, check it out on IWTV or on YouTube. It was basically ECW of the South, and Tank was just such a badass, and his stuff in like IWA Mid South was always just dope. He always had some cool stuff. So working with him is cool because like he's like the epitome of Southern deathmatch wrestling, which is what I really want to embody and hopefully make better in some ways. Like
I respect that.
it's
I respect that.
like that's what I
mean,
want.
When
Like,
you
I know,
mention Southern Legends, I don't know how you feel about them, but like whenever I talk to somebody about Southern Legends, I'm like, you got to have John Rare, Terry Houston, Spider Budro, and you got to have Tank. You don't have Tank in your Southern Deathmatch Legends. You're fucking missing something. I'm sorry, but Tank was, one of the men who got in there, and what is it, 27, 28 years now he's been in it?
yeah, around that. Yeah, I think 27.
And he's bled, like the ref said, he's bled all over the fucking country.
Yeah,
And
man.
I don't think there's one thing that Tank ain't done. And for you to be in with Tank, I can't wait to see what you have in store for you.
Yeah, man. Like I love Tank. He's like such a rad dude. He's such a badass. It's so cool and like just a legit tough dude. Like what you want to be and what you want out of like a deathmatch wrestler. And he's going to be one of those people like talk about Tank like they talked about like Abdullah the Butcher or something back in the
Yes.
bro, like, yo, you were around when Tank was around. That's the cool thing. Like when I am at Tank's age and I'm like looking back and bringing up some like young dudes or whatever, I'll be like, yeah, man, I used to roll with Tank back in the day. Like I want to be able to tell those stories and like it's just kind of cool being a small part of his like story and legacy, being a part of Coven of the Goat.
I understand that. How is it being in the Coven of the Goat and having the Rev as a manager?
Oh, it's awesome. I think I love being in Coven of the Goat. It's really cool because like Tank and Rev saw something like in me. They saw my love for the wild shit and for Southern deathmatch wrestling and all that good stuff. And I think that we had a match like at this outlaw biker rally like later on that year, and and then we just had a good time. We got all bloodied and we had a big old fight, and I was down to do whatever. And then Tank, I think, like took to liking me after that match and him whooping my ass and everything. And they brought me into Coven of the Goat up at TWE in Red Bank, Tennessee, and that was cool. And along with CJ Lawler, along with Jada Newman, both rad in their own rights. And dude, Rev Dan Wilson's cool, like because he's got like this really deep, gravelly Southern voice. Like it's just the
Yes.
coolest ever. Like he should be like the singer of like a death metal band or something. Yeah. So so I'm always like just texting Dan, hitting him up about just random creative ideas and whatnot. I'm like, hey, does this work? Hey, does this suck? Is this promo good? Like, is this lame if I do this? You know, just kind of getting his insight because I think we have similar tastes and things.
I respect that. And, you know, when I think the first time I ever seen you was an SHP. I think that's what it's called. And it was you and Tank basically caught you on fire.
Oh
And,
yeah.
yeah, and then like you went over there to POR, and then I kind of quit watching so much of wrestling. I had some personal things going on. And I come back, and you just blew the fuck up, and I'm like fuck yes. I've always been a fan of yours though. So, and then I watched the match with you and Tank in the Outlaw, whatever you want to call it, the biker rally thing, and I love that. And then I got a question when you just fought Krule on it in there over there. So, how does your feet feel after your barefoot death match with Sarah Dox? I seen on Facebook about a week ago that your feet was mangled and destroyed. You said they still fucking hurt.
Dude, yeah, it fucking sucks, man. I'll probably won't do another one. It was like people like when I said, yeah, I want to do this barefoot death match. Like deathmatch wrestlers, there's like wrestlers, and then there's like deathmatch wrestlers, which are the crazy breed. And then there was like an even few percentage that wanted to do like barefoot death matches. And a lot of deathmatch guys are like, nah, don't do the barefoot. And I'm like, the fact that a lot of guys don't want to do it made me want to try it in a weird, made me want to do it even more in a weird way. And then now after I did it, I'm like, oh, now I know why they don't want to fucking do it because I'm just a fucking moron. Like it sucks. Like the thing that sucked the most is like I had two really big pieces of glass stuck in my foot for a whole month.
Oh shit!
And like when you have deathmatch, like getting cut and getting glass in you or whatever, it's normal. It's part of what you signed up for, right? So like you get glass like under your arm. Sometimes your skin will grow back over a piece of glass, and you just gotta wait for your body to push it out. Which, if that's on your arm or back or head or what, it's like whatever. But when it's on the bottom of your foot and you're constantly walking on it, you're just irritating it for nonstop. So you just got to start walking weird, and it was miserable. And I think what happened was like at the end of the match, like she put me in an ankle lock and she kept putting syringes into my foot. And then when I raised my foot up in the air, like the weight of the syringes like wiggled like that, so it like worked a bigger hole in my foot. So it had like it made it easy for glass to slide up when I was walking out of the ring. So when I was walking out of the ring, I had like a hole in my foot, and so a piece of glass got shoved up there. Then my body healed over it, and then it like took like a month to push it out. So yeah, it sucked.
That's fucking crazy.
So yeah, barefoot deathmatch is like that was fucking brutal. I mean, yeah, like probably won't do another one. It was funny. I just had a match last week in Vegas, and I did a barefoot spot in that match as well. So maybe I just will never learn.
I mean, you got these people in here like Necro who used to run around doing it. No, I think it was JC who done it too.
Yep, JC Bailey.
And then you got currently Chondo, but we ain't gonna mention him. And Obey, and there's another one that runs around here barefooted. I don't see how they y'all do it. Like, yeah, I don't see how y'all could take the glass and the pine needles and all that shit to the feet, dude. Like you said, you're constantly walking on it, and then when you go to your shoot job, you got to deal with it around the house, and in your hand or in your arm or whatever. It's typical. You don't really, you're moving them, but you're not really working with them. On your feet, though, you're always on your feet.
Yeah.
And the only time you're off of them is like when you're sitting down, and even then, you're probably putting pressure on them.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
So yeah, it was just like a misery of just walking. But like I said, it's part of it. It's what I signed up for, so I can't complain because it's literally what I signed up for. My fiance was like, "I feel so bad for you. I don't feel bad for me. I chose this. This is my own doing." So
That's one way to put it.
like, you can't feel bad for me. I chose this. So
What is your worst injury or major one?
so far I've been pretty lucky not to have anything crazy. I did get cut really bad last September. So it was Brad Cash's the Suicide King Crown tournament in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I was in a first round match against this chick named Lilith Grimm, and had a match. It was all right. And after the match, I'm like laying on the ground, and she hit me with a light tube, but it just broke in a weird way. Sometimes light tubes do that, and it got me like across the arm. You can't. It's kind of hard to see, but I have like a bit, like a kind of a cut here. And
Yeah, you could see like the red dot.
yeah, so basically that just split open, and it was basically like getting a water bottle and pouring it out, and watering it out was falling out really fast. It could be super deep, and so they luckily this dude Danny Only, he was there. He was able to. He was like a field medic in like the army, so he was make like a tourniquet and like get me okay. So we're out in the middle of this field, and we drive all the way to Knoxville, and by the time I get to the hospital, I've lost so much blood that I can't feel the lower half of my body, and I'm starting to like fade. I can't feel my legs. Like it's like I'm losing a shit ton of blood. Like my car's still stained with blood. It was like a tremendous amount of blood. Like it was like it got serious pretty quick. I was just like, oh fuck, I better get in here. So when I come in, I'm just covered in blood. People in the emergency room were like, yo, what's happening? And they thought I was just some stab victim. Like they're like, yo, did you get stabbed at the ball game? What happened? I was like, nah, I'm just a wrestler. And I'm kind of just I'm a calm person. So I'm like, yeah, I just got, cut by a piece of glass. And then they're all like, yo, what's this dude's deal? And like they're like stitching me up, and then like I'm like getting, but I'm like cutting a promo like while I'm in the bed because like literally like I left that match, got stitches, had them in for 7 days, got the stitches out that Saturday, and left and went and had a match against Krule at that biker rally. So like, and I re-injured my arm in that because like I spent like the separation from getting stitches out to having that match with Krule was like an hour. Like I like immediately went and I wrapped it up good, thinking I'd be fine, but I just split it open. So yeah, so just a lot of like I haven't broken anything ever. Like I have like me and JJ Escobar have a similar background. We're both daredevils and stunt performers, and I've been very lucky to never be hurt in that like growing up or in my early 20s, and I haven't been hurt in wrestling besides just that one cut. And I don't even know if you would classify that as an injury. It was just like I lost like just I don't think it was all too terrible.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it was just a ton. It made me realize, man, you can really bleed a lot and not die. It's crazy.
I literally thought that you would have to get like a blood transfusion or some shit. Let your bottom half of your body. So I was like, it just crossed my mind. Like I was like, wait a minute, you know how like some wrestlers get in there, and I think was it JC Bailey back in the day had to get a blood transfusion.
I'm not sure, but probably.
I know one of them did.
Yeah. Luckily, I haven't lost that much blood, but it is kind of crazy. Like just from that one event. I mean, I obviously like to bleed. I'm a deathmatch wrestler, but that particular day, I just bled so much that I was kind of blown away by the amount of blood and it not causing any like something serious. The only thing was like I said, yeah, my legs were just numb, and then I felt like really cold for like 2 days because it took a while for the blood to recirculate. You know what I mean?
Shit. I wouldn't
So
know how to feel about that.
yeah.
Have you ever had a real life feud with a wrestler out of the ring?
Uh, Not really. At least not that I'd really want to get into. Usually, I'm a pretty chill guy. Like, if I have a conflict with somebody, I'm pretty quick about squashing beef or working out a drama or whatever the case may be. So if I feel like someone's wronged me, I'm pretty laid back in my approach. I'm not like a yo, fuck you, let's fight kind of guy. I'm more of like, hey man, I heard we got a problem. I want to hear what the issue is. Let's work it out, kind of thing. And I'm pretty laid back and really easygoing, so I get along with most people for the most part. Like, if people have problems with me, they're like really trying to have problems, you know. So
I
I'm
understand that.
pretty laid back and cool. You got to be a pretty big dickhead to really get under my skin or get a rise out of me.
Yeah, you look like a pretty chill back person that may sit down with cheese and hold your fan, smoke a blunt, drink a
Yeah,
beer, do
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, man. That's
So,
how.
I don't know if I told you in the messages or not, but the channel is all shoot. And with that being said, is there anybody that you would like to call out for a match?
Man, call out for a match. Damn. I think there's a lot of people I want to have matches with. But man, I think like let's see, one person I really want to have another match with is I really want to have a third match with JJ Escobar because here's the thing. We've wrestled twice. It was my first match, and then we had that match that was in that Vice documentary. And so I won one, and he's won one. So we have to have the third tie-breaking match. I think that would be great. So I think that would be the ideal match. So JJ, if you want to throw down, let's throw down. I know more than throwing weed whackers now, so we can have ourselves a crazy old time. You know, we could do some crazy shit. I see that, I haven't seen JJ since JJ has been like, or haven't wrestled JJ since he's been on XPW or since he's broken his back or since he's gotten like 5.5 times bigger than he was like when I last wrestled him. He's looking like one of those Jack Kangaroos now, and I love it. So
Yeah,
that's
I got an interview with JJ whenever I'm ready. Like, I got to get the questions and stuff together. But yeah, I'll definitely bring that up to him. Anybody else?
man, that's the main one. Man, I wish I'm gonna just be like filling blanks. I mean, there's a bunch of people that I would like. There's a bunch of people I want to wrestle. Have like a huge list. Everybody's got their like Cody list, right? Where it's just a big list of everybody they want to like wrestle. Obviously, there's people like I'm a huge fan of like John Wayne Murdoch or Hoodfoot or dudes like that. I'd love to
Oh
wrestle
shit!
that. Like people who are like on that level. Um, let's see. That was weird. He messaged me right as I said that. So yeah, and
Respect.
I really enjoyed my match I had with Doctor Redacted on ICW. I'd like to like wrestle him again because he's crazy.
Oh, that man's fucking off the damn wall. That man's something else when it comes to that ring. And what really gets me with him is his fucking trash can. Like, he I don't know what it is. He just puts that trash can on and he goes fucking insane.
Yeah, man. It's
So,
probably I guess guys, but for people like John Wayne and like Hoodfoot and those dudes, people who've been like the American Deathmatch champion, that's like such the next level of things that I feel like I got to work my way up and earn it because those are guys that I got to earn it with. I don't deserve those matches yet, but hopefully I can have a bunch and get to those type of quality matches. I want to be able to earn these kind of opportunities. You know what I mean?
hey, I respect that. I've never heard anybody say that. That is some fucking respect, dude. That
Thank you, man.
is fucking. That
That's
is just. That just blew my fucking mind. Like, most people we've interviewed, they just come in here and go like, "Well, I want to fight Murdoch. I want to fight Tremont." I'm like, "You're not to that level yet, but you're like, give me time. I'll get it when I get it." And that's cool as shit, dude.
Yeah, that's how I want to be. I mean, even having the Doctor Redacted match at ICW because I'm a huge ICW fan. I love ICW, and so like being a part of their last Chattanooga show before they went on a break was so sick to me. So like and being able to wrestle Doctor Redacted, like we were saying, he's like such a like he's just fucking killing it right now. He's like crushing it. He's having great, crazy matches. Like, so the fact that they were like, all right, Mowery versus Redacted, and that was a huge honor. So that felt like an introduction to the next level of deathmatch. Eric Dillinger at XPW, and that's like that same caliber. So it feels like I'm starting to move into that next like level of deathmatch, which I'm really excited about. So I'm like, okay, like people trust me to wrestle Redacted, they trust me to wrestle.
I like to go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like I said, I just want to be able to go about wrestling the right way. I don't feel entitled to anything. I kind of know where I'm at experience-wise, and I really want to earn it. That way, when I get it, I feel like I deserved it. You know, I don't want any handouts. I want to be able to take pride in my work and be able to be like, you know, I fucking deserve this, and no one can take it from me. So that's how I feel about it. So, yeah, man. So I feel like I've had a really cool, like the first 2 years have been really awesome, and now it's like that Rumble that I'm in, which is coming up. Like it's kind of like my anniversary for wrestling. So that's like August will start my 3rd year of like wrestling, I think. So I'm stoked to see what's going to happen. You know, like the fact that I was able, like I said, that I got on ICW and now XPW, it feels like, all right, I'm doing a little bit more than just, you know, a bunch of random shit.
I like to see you face Joe Bateman or go over to England and Rise, and face. Rise over there in England, they have a lot of good boys. They got like Big Joe and Lowe, but fight over there in a different country because from a fan's point of view and a podcaster's point of view, I feel like the international boys have a different fighting style than us Americans. So, how was it facing Brad Cash, considering everyone seemed like they wanted it, plus yourself wanted it?
Yeah, it was rad, man. So like, Brad is kind of like the gap between me and Tank, you know, and he's like the generation in between. And Cash used to be in like a stable with Rev Dan back in the day, and they like kind of he's like very similar kind of path to me, cut from the same cloth. Like he put on Facebook that he was starting to wind down and everything, and I was just like, man, like he's been like a staple in Southern Deathmatch for a while, and now I'm starting to get my wheels starting to be a name in match, and I'm like, now I'll be damned if Brad Cash is gonna dip out before I fight him. So, and I'm like, so I messaged him. I was like, yo, let's like I gotta have like a death match with you before you wrap it up, and he was like, absolutely. So we hit up my buddy Tyler Gazaway, and we were like, yo, let's do like a show built around this death match. And then they had this, like there were some bands and some just a bunch of other matches and stuff. So we put on the show in Chatsworth, Georgia, and then we got to work, and I fucked him up real good with a hacksaw. It was awesome. He was just pissing blood. It was awesome. Yeah, that dude was like,
fuck yes,
bleeding. It's so good. There's this dude named Yashiro. He films like a bunch of death matches here in the South, like on VHS. So he's got like this crazy sick shot of Brad just pouring, and it's so good. So,
what is it like to have a pufferfish used on you? The only time ever I think I've seen one used was in Carnage Cut 10 or 9. So I've only seen it like used once before.
Yeah, so I actually like I didn't take. Did I take a pufferfish? No, I think I've taken a pufferfish. I don't think I've taken a pufferfish, but I know Brad's used them. Did we use them? I'm trying to think if I used it or.
I think Brad used it on your forehead, I want to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think so many sharp things have been in my head. It's just kind of like, it's hard to differentiate. At some point, it's just all sharp pointy things being stuck in your flesh start to all kind of feel similar, you know? So
I understand that.
whether it's a knife or it's like a sickle or skewers, it's just different sizes and shapes of the same pain. So for me, like the pufferfish wasn't too bad. That same match, you got me with shark teeth, which are pretty gnarly.
Shit.
Yeah, I want to start. I bought I thought I'd have it close by, but I bought like a shark jaw when I was in Mexico with all its teeth. So I want to try to bust that out sometime soon.
Oh shit! I've never seen a actual shark jaw used on a person.
And it's like
That'd be pretty fucking cool.
I brought it with me to my match with Sarah. I was thinking about using it, but it was funny because I put it in my bag, and it's like a legit shoot, like shark jaw that I got in Mexico, and I put it in my bag, and because it's not like a gift shop thing, it's like it still smells like fish, and so when I opened my gear bag just reeked of like fish, and it was so.
Oh.
And I left it in the hot car, and I could barely wear my gear. I feel so bad for Sarah. I was like, look, I'm gonna smell like hot fish in this match. So, I apologize. Yeah.
So what is your next deathmatch goal or wrestling goal?
My next deathmatch goal or wrestling goal. I think let's see. I have a few, right? I want to my ultimate goal in wrestling is to wrestle in Japan. Like do death matches in Japan is a huge goal of mine. I gotta get a lot more reps in and really put in the work to get to that spot. But that's like the big goal I think for me. I want to have like if I see that back, I would love to do more ICW. I'm open to I'm excited about XPW and doing more of that. Like I also had a lot of fun at Ruthless Pro, so I kind of just want to start, getting in with some of those bigger companies and trying to do some more quality like shows and bookings, and try to also venture out a little bit further than the South, and also bring a good name to Southern Deathmatch Wrestling. You know, it's my belief that match wrestling started in the South and the Southern states. You know, Onita says, who I think is like the godfather, the grandfather of deathmatch wrestling. He himself says that deathmatch wrestling started at the Tupelo Concession Stand Ball in Memphis, Tennessee. So it is my belief that deathmatch is roots are in the South. So if I can do anything to make Southern deathmatch wrestling or raise the quality of it at all, or give it some sort of recognition, or at least make people look at it differently or have some kind of respect, that's kind of what I want ultimately. So it's just bringing the name and trying to gather and garner respect of Southern deathmatch wrestlers, so people will know the legacy of people like Tank and like Iceberg and Rev Dan Wilson and people like that, and also just like I said, to travel to go to places like Japan and these bigger companies and just have a good ass time with my friends. So that's main.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Is the hacksaw your gimmick weapon?
Yeah, I think that's like what I've tried to make it my signature weapon is the hacksaw. I think for me it was like Tank uses a sickle, and that's kind of like his signature weapon. I like when people have signature weapons. Like Redacted has the trash can, or Masada has the skewers. Like I'm like, man, I want to get like my own weapon that when people see me bring it out, or when they see me on a poster, they're like, yo, that's the maniac that uses a hacksaw on people. Like I want people to have like that level of excitement. So the second that I pull out like the hacksaw, people feel like it's part of the character and part of the act and what they want to see from me almost. And
I kind of feel that. Like I always thought that was your gimmick weapon. Out of all the weapons you used when you fought Brad Cash, which was your favorite? Mine was the Assassin's Creed axe, the one that was like the Assassin's Creed axe.
oh yeah,
That was fucking legit, dude.
yeah. I just saw it. Yeah, I don't even remember him bringing it. We were we're fighting, and I'm just looking on the ground, and I see an axe, and I'm like, damn, this thing is really sharp. Hopefully, I don't like decapitate him. I'm just like hitting his sword.
And then after that, you picked up your saw, your gimmick saw.
Yeah.
When you gave Brad Cash the flaming elbow, did you burn yourself in the process?
A tiny bit. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a tiny little brown
Shit.
spot. That's from that, which is crazy because I probably have been on fire over 500 times in my life. Like I've been on fire a shit ton from doing stunts and everything else. I have a pretty good track record, and that is the only time I've ever gotten any mark or any burn or anything from being on fire, and I've done it a shit ton of times. So like that being the only mark I've ever gotten from it, I feel like my hit miss ratio is pretty spot on.
Yeah, like I'm sure you've seen it yourself, which some wrestlers don't like going back and watching their matches, but dude, that fucking flaming elbow, you could see that you was like your whole arm was practically in flames. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was because when I was on the thing, because I had like that spray I use, it's just like just super flammable fluid, and I'm like putting it on my elbow pad, and I spray on my elbow pad, but I spray a little bit on my arm by accident, and then but I already threw the can, and I realized that I'm like, well, I can't just get down, go get the can, and come back up and spray it again because I look dumb. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, and I just lit it, and just went for it.
That explains it.
I was like,
So how?
yeah.
Well, you done answered how you got into Coven of the Goat. Tank took a liking to you after the biker rally thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like wrestling in the biker rally in Georgia?
I love it. I love I'm a big fan of so I think like motorcycle culture and deathmatch wrestling are kind of like two of the last forms of complete anarchy and rebellion and just freedom. And when you bring the two together, and when you bring the two together, especially when a lot of the people at biker rallies have never seen deathmatch and they're just watching something they've never seen before, and a lot of them are just like drunk off their ass or high as shit, and they're just like, "Yo, what is this like crazy homeless looking dude doing out over here?" I'm just like getting cut by a hacksaw or being set on fire, and people are just sitting there like, "What the hell?" Like I had this dude before. He was like, "Man, what was that thing you were sticking in that guy that made the blood effect happen? Like, was it like a blood capsule thing?" And I was like, "No, that's like a gusset plate." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And then I go get it and I show it to him, and he like touches it and he realizes like, "Oh, that was like real blood." And you can kind of see some people get really stoked on that, and other people get like really bummed out. They're just like, "Oh man, you really cut yourself," and they're kind of bummed out about it. But
That's the thing. Like, I know a bunch of people who like think like this wrestling's like WWE with blood capsules and blood, like the blood packs and shit. I'm like, no, this is real fucking blood. I showed my buddy a match, and he was like, "That's fake blood," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" So I fast forwarded it like 5 minutes. He goes, "That ain't fake blood." I'm like, "No, that ain't fucking fake blood." I'm like, "I sit here and hit you with the light tube, and then hit you with the gusset plate, and you tell me if it's fake blood or not." He's like, "Oh no, that ain't gonna be fake." I'm like, "Yeah."
right? There was one time at Southern Honor Wrestling, I had this match against my buddy Sunny Days, and afterwards I'm at my merch table and I have like a good amount of blood on my face, and this woman walks up to me and she's just like, "I know that blood isn't real. That blood's fake." And then she gets like her finger and she like wipes my face and goes like, licks my blood, and then like as soon as she does it, I could just see regret in her eyes, and then she was like, "Oh my god, that is real blood." And I'm just like, didn't know how to react. I was like, wow, what an awkward exchange that just happened right now.
Okay, I think that's the weirdest phone call I've ever heard. That is fucking. That's. I love the blood and gore, and as a fan, I'm not going to do that. But
Yeah.
that's fucking nasty. Excuse me.
Oh, dude, she was 100% convinced that wasn't real, and she was like, "Watch this shit. I'm about to prove him wrong." And look, and as soon as she looked at, she knew it was real blood.
Oh,
Just the regret in her eyes was so satisfying.
like I know that all your deathmatch wrestlers have to get tested, right?
Yeah,
Like
some people
diseases and stuff, but come on, to lick another part. Like, okay, I come from cannibals. I won't beat around the bush. My fans already know this because, like, if you know what Maori, New Zealand warriors are, they crack open their enemy's skull and then like they drink out of it and they eat their victims or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I've done some pretty fucked up shit, but to literally go up to a wrestler and be like, that's fake blood, and do like that, I'm like, no, this ain't no WWE, AEW shit. This is, you're sitting there watching this woman get the shit beat out of them. You see them start leaking blood. How is that fake blood? What do you think about the Rev screams? Because I think it kind of hurts Tank's ears, which you would know, like, Tank sometimes walks away and plugs his ears.
Oh, the Rev scream. Oh, they're awesome. It fires me up. It's like he's got such a perfect, like, heavy metal voice. So his scream is so good. Like, it's so loud. For me, it's almost like getting slapped in the face before you get in a fight, where it's like, for some people, it's like, ow. Other people's is like, let's go. It fires you up. For me, when he hits the yell, it just gives me that extra, like, umph of just, let's fucking go, you know?
I love the Rev scream. My wife said, I can deal with the Rev, the Rev talk and the Rev commentate. She said, but that damn scream. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the Rev scream. It's something about me. I just love the way he does his scream. I pretty much got his, like, intro with the Tank down pat, but as far as his scream, I can't do his scream.
Oh yeah, it's one of a kind. It's such a good.
But his voice, I think I pretty much got it down pat. But other than that, I think I'm screwed. What do you think about facing Krule? That match was at the biker rally, because that match was, I don't even know how to put it. Like, everybody that's faced Krule has a different opinion, so I want to know your opinion on facing Krule.
Dude, he's awesome. He's like it felt like I was, like, fighting Jason Voorhees. Like, it felt like I was in a horror movie, you know? Where
yes.
It felt like I was more of a camper trying to survive as opposed to a guy. You know what I mean? So that's how I looked at it. And it kind of shifted the mood where, like, when in the biker rally, because Krule, he's not walking out of, like, the entranceway. He's, like, walking from just the fields way in the distance. So he's walking, and then all the bikers are just turning around and seeing this masked, huge human, like, just slowly walk towards me, and it's like, it's pretty intimidating. But he's, like, just a crazy tough human being, and he's from Georgia and everything, and he was part of Southern Honor Wrestling when it first started, back when he went under, like, a different wrestling name and everything.
Logan, wasn't it?
Logan Creed was his first wrestling name. I don't know if he had wrestlings before that, but was his wrestling name when I first met him, as Logan Creed, and then he became Krule, and then when he became Krule, it was just next level.
And like, I'm sorry, but I don't see. You don't have to say, but Logan's like 7 foot, so I don't see Krule drive around in no fucking car. He has to drive like a truck or something that's big for his ass. And you being a horror fan, you do know there's a horror movie called Krule too, right?
Oh, is there? Is it? I have no idea. Yeah.
There is a horror movie, and you can look it up. It's called Krule, and it's got, like, the same mask of him. So his gimmick is to, like, be quiet. So I'll probably never interview him because I don't want to, like, disrespect him. But I wonder if that's where he get his name from. Was like, because it kind of matches the movie title, but not exactly. But, like, it's so cool how, like, his mask matches this. I don't know if it's an alien or what the fuck it is, but, like, his mask, and then, his name matches this creature's name. No copyright stuff, but it's just cool how, like, some of you wrestlers how y'all get y'all's damn names.
Yeah, probably so.
Do you enjoy fire? You seem to have a fascination with it.
Fire? Oh yeah, dude, I love fire. Yeah, I've played around with fire since I've been a teenager. So I was raised on Jackass and CKY and that generation. So I was a huge fan and just dumb shit when I was a kid. So I had a huge fascination with fire and setting myself and my friends on fire. I've set all my friends on fire growing up, and it slowly became a thing I was kind of known for. Like, people were like, "Oh yeah, Nathan set me on fire." There was like one time I was out at the grocery store and someone's like, "Hey, do you remember me? You set me on fire that one time." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's could be anybody. I've done a lot."
Shit, that's fucking crazy.
So done that a billion times. Yeah, I've just played with fire a ton. That was like my signature in the stunt world, is just fire related stunts. And so I just have a long history. I have a whole video on my YouTube channel about my history with fire. I'll send it to you. It's a pretty fun one.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like, so yeah, I've done that forever. So when I became like a deathmatch wrestler, it kind of just made sense to continue, implementing fire stunts and whatnot.
Me and my buddy, we're not friends anymore. God, it's been at least, I'm 24. It had to be at least 10 years ago, because I wasn't even a teenager. I was like 10, 11. And he was really big in fire. I mean, like, he was really big in fire. And we got to fucking around one time with these axe bottles, and you know how flammable they are to make torches and shit. He fucking caught himself on fire. And then, me being the dumbass I am, I decided to intensify it and spray him when he was already on fire. And like, I'm a kid. And they always say stop, drop, and roll. His mom come outside. She didn't know what to do. His dad threw a bucket of water on him, and I'm like, oh fuck it, I killed this boy. I'm gonna go to prison for fucking murder. He got, I wouldn't say like severely burned, but he got burned pretty bad. And he didn't learn his lesson. So I say about a year later, he might be dead by now. He decided to take a hairspray can and just take a regular lighter and go like that, and it blew up in his fucking face, and I ain't heard from him since. I'm like, dude, are you okay? But he was one of those bad boys. Like, he was young, he was bad, he thought he was the shit, he thought he was the good looking one. He was smoking, and I didn't really start smoking until I was 18. He was young, smoking, always had a fascination with fire. And his grandmother's like, keep playing with fire, you're going to wet the bed, you're not old enough to play with fire. And I don't even know what happened to him, but yeah. What is your hobbies out of the ring?
Out of the ring? Man, I keep a pretty busy schedule because I'm I'm a filmmaker for a living, so I do videos, I do music videos and stuff like that. So I'm always like working on those kind of things. So a big fan of just kind of art. So I'm kind of like an art kind of dude, a creative. So I just kind of do that kind of thing, just kind of piddle on little art projects and whatnot. So, but mainly just video work. That's all I really have time for. So I'm either wrestling, doing video work, or hanging out with my fiance. So
That's pretty cool. You're an artist in the ring and out of the ring. That's fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you draw too? Like,
a little bit, yeah. I've always been in all the arts and stuff ever since I was a kid. So it's like having a creative job is really fun, and it kind of helps your wrestling out too. Being able to be creative and being a filmmaker for a living, it helps me like know how to make promos look or get the most out of promos.
yeah, I gotta say that. Like, your promos are always on point. I love your promos. And one of my favorite matches from you, I don't want to say that it's my top number one, but I really respected you and you and CJ at the compound. I think it was the Spooky Dust Done.
Yeah.
Like, the outside scenery, the way that you and him was going blow for blow, everything was just right there. And my last question is, how was it being in War Games and wrestling with the ref?
Yeah, man, that was fun. To touch on the CJ thing real quick, that was like the compound, which is like the sawmill that I grew up. When I come to the ring, I'm announced from the sawmills in East Tennessee. So that was that sawmill that I grew up on.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
So yeah, it was fun. It was fun to work with CJ, and that's where when I was a kid, like when I was a little kid, that's where I would go to pretend to be a wrestler. I did my backyarding, or when I was a little kid pretending to be a wrestler when I got older. That's where I did it. So it's kind of cool having a match there with my buddy CJ and everything. But yeah, having war games is cool because that's just like a rad concept of a match. We wrestled this group called the Deadwood Boys, and we had like Jada Newman like just joined, but he got injured unfortunately.
His jaw broke. I think.
His jaw got broken, so he wasn't able to be in the match, and so Rev Dan ended up stepping in. So it was fun having him be in the match, and not rings in there and just like throw in like the powder and everything. Like he's been in like war games in the past if you watch old Wild Side and everything. So it was yeah, like I said, I love Dan. He's such a fun dude. So it was fun that he got to get in there. But yeah, the match was rad. So got to play with my hacksaw there. It was a good time.
I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely did. Now, and back to the compound, like I told my wife, I was like, he has to know this compound. He's had to grow up here or something. She said, "What do you mean?" I'm like, he's running these damn roads on CJ. Like he knows this scenery. She's like, "Well, maybe he's been there before." I'm like, "No, he had to grow up here. You just don't visit there once and know these grounds. Like this is his stomping grounds or something." So you just basically answered my question. Hell yeah. But I don't have it wrote down. Is like you've mentioned the homeless thing. Is that like your gimmick?
Homeless? Oh no.
No, I didn't think so because you more look like. I mean, you're in with Coven of the Goat, so you're more like some scared character that wears like a trench coat with a big long beard. And
yeah, I'm kind of like a mix of like a lot of different things, but I'm kind of like a almost backwoods serial killer, a little bit of like more like kind of like almost like a Charles Manson type, or for lack of a better example, or more like a Rob Zombie grindhouse 70s type of killer. You know what I mean?
I didn't think about that.
It's more like kind of like a pseudo satanic backwoods rock star hillbilly kind of thing. You know?
I respect that. Like it never once crossed my mind about the damn fucking Rob Zombie, the serial killer. I could see the Charles Manson, but I never once thought about the fucking Rob Zombie thing.
Yeah, it's like
I respect that.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever watched like The Devil's Rejects, that movie.
Yes.
So Rev Dan and Tank and this guy named Iceberg used to have a stable back in the 2000s called The Devil's Rejects, based off the movie. And so I kind of wanted to appeal to that and kind of be similar to that vibe. And I've always liked Rob Zombie, and I liked his music and his aesthetic. And I was like, okay, I'm going to basically be a Rob Zombie movie character as a wrestler. I want to be like Otis Driftwood from Devil's Rejects, but I want to be like that as a wrestler. So I'm more so that, you know. So,
I respect that. That is amazing. That is amazing.
It's kind of the vibe I try to go for anyway.
But yeah, anything you want to say?
Man, yeah, I guess for those listening, man, just yeah, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, I've uploaded basically all my matches, all my good ones that I like anyway. There's a whole playlist. You can watch them all, my promos, my vignettes. Up there you can see all the documentaries, the music videos I do. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all the same thing. It's just my name, @NathanMowery. I'm a very laid back guy, so if you see me at a show, come say what's up. I'll hang out with you. I'm very approachable. I'm a chill dude. If you got a problem with me, also come talk to me, man. We'll work it out, and then we'll be sharing a beer by the end of it all. So,
yeah. And another thing, I don't want to offend you, and I know that you was booked for it, and you probably know what's coming next. As Deep South, like since Tank's been through there, and the Rev and Iceberg, I get them mixed up because there was two icebergs back in the day. I think icebergs ran through there. Could we see you actually run through there too?
Personally, I don't think so. It's no disrespect to anybody that goes there. It's just not my cup of tea. So everybody that I've met from there is rad. Like I message like Brian and like John Rare, they'll message me every now and again, and so everyone's really cool. But it's just not my place. So no
I
hate,
respect that.
not for me. Yeah,
I respect that.
yeah,
But if I could ever get a part 2 with you, I definitely would love to.
yeah, absolutely, man. Just let me know.
All right. Thank you for your time, sir.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I'll see you.